Let's talk about EastEnders coming in at number 6 again in my rankings. This one for January. It was number 6 in December as well, I think, but it stays the same. And honestly, EastEnders is not good, but it is not quite as terrible as Days of Our Lives or General Hospital or Emmerdale or as boring as Young and the Restless, but it's still not good. I think it's kind of boring right now too, which doesn't help. And obviously, the story that I've been bitching about this entire time for EastEnders has been Gray and how they just won't wrap up this Gray storyline. They are now repeating the same storyline they did between Gray and Chantel with Gray and Chelsea, where Gray is like trying to seclude Chelsea from everyone with his abusive ways, and Chelsea seems to be starting to fall for it, and it's super fucking obnoxious because who wants to see the same story that played out just 2 years ago with Gray play out again? Give Gray his downfall already. I'm tired of this storyline. It is not interesting to watch. I'm over it. It needs to end. They kind of finally wrapped up the extreme right-wing story, I guess we'll call it, with Aaron and his Nazi friends. Aaron's father finally kind of turned Aaron into the police about all that had been happening. So that got a bit of a wrap up. I honestly, I can't remember if Nil, the other Aaron's Nazi friend, went down or not. I remember they like had an attack on some of the gay characters. Callum and Ash were hurt. Ash even ended up leaving town. And we still have Phil, who might be having a downfall. Will he actually have a downfall? That is the question. If they genuinely make Phil go to prison and spend a lot of time in prison, I would be shocked, first of all. But I would actually applaud this show for finally giving Phil the downfall he's always deserved. Phil needs a lot of payback for some of the shit he's done over the years, I think. They've continued with the male breast cancer story as that finally became more public. And I mean, that about wraps up most of the storylines. There's others, but honestly, any storyline isn't that good right now. It's just kind of limping along. Like I said, EastEnders isn't very good right now. And this is going to be a short video because I don't have a lot to say on it. It's not as much of a joke and poorly written as Days. It's not as horribly tone deaf as General Hospital. It's not as dumbed down as Emmerdale, and it's not as boring as Young and the Restless. So it gets to 6th place over those 4 pretty bad soap operas.